The Netherlands being elite at producing footballing talent is something that I don't think very many people would disagree with. It's something I don't think anyone would disagree with. Anyone sane, at least. And when it comes to young players like Matthijs de Ligt, Frenkie de Jong, Julian Timber, Tyrell Malacia, and more, this is something that doesn't look to be changing anytime soon. However, this video won't be taking a look at any of the above. This video will be taking a look at a young man who's been hyped for months and months before the World Cup was even a passing thought in the minds of the majority of fans. 9 goals and 12 assists in the Eredivisie in 14 games this season so far is absolutely nothing to play around with. A man who grabbed major headlines right from the jump in the 2022 World Cup with a goal in each match of the group stages. Cody Gakpo. I think we gotta talk about this guy. His come up, his breakthrough, his skill set, and his potential future. I think this is a name that we will be hearing a lot of for quite some time. With that being said, how good is Cody Gakpo? Yo, what's going on everyone? I really hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. No face cam today as I'm moving houses and my setup is less than non-existent. Strap in because we've got a special one coming up. Let's go ahead and kick this one off from the very beginning. Born in 1999 in Eindhoven to a very active family, Cody Gakpo's life was pretty much set up for a life in sports from the very beginning. His father, a Togolese-born man of Ghanaian lineage, was once a football player himself, and his mother, a woman of Dutch origins, was once an international rugby player with the Dutch national team. And then we have his brothers who play football themselves, but I think it's safe to assume that the footballing gem of the family is the title character in this video. So I guess one of the first takeaways we can gather from this guy is that he was never lacking in terms of an environment that respected, promoted, and appreciated his future occupation. Conveniently, the city Gakpo was born in has somewhat of a strong footballing reputation, as I'm sure some of you are aware of. And perhaps the main attraction in that respect is none other than PSV Eindhoven, European Cup winners, serial Eredivisie winners, and also the only team Cody Gakpo has ever known. It all started in 2005 at the age of 6. Our guy started training with PSV's academy and got straight to work at showing that he belonged. Initially an agile, swift player, however a rapid growth spurt forced him to switch up along the way. The result was a 6'2", strong, direct, wide attacker. As is typically the case when it comes to young, talented attackers, in the early days, the stories of this guy's scoring records frequently going into double figures are aplenty. As we say in Holland, he could always find the shortest way to goal. As a defender, you'd be concerned about playing him because in an instant, he changes the game. The words of Twan Schiepers, current Utrecht assistant coach and former PSV youth coach. He was just levels above the rest, seemingly from the very beginning. So if I were to tell you that he was never satisfied with his performances and was always trying to improve, I doubt many of you would be surprised. The guy has always wanted to and believed he should be the man, as is evidenced from his feature in Dutch rapper Dio's 2016 track, De Man. The song essentially tells the tale that success is a long, hard road and that the hard work never stops. I must admit, I don't understand a hell of a lot of what's being said in the song, but just from the sound of it, it slaps. And you know what else slaps? The sponsor of this video. Football moves fast, guys. New games every week, new players to follow, a new spicy scandal breaking headlines every other day. How on earth are we supposed to keep up? Actually, I know how. And it's thanks to the sponsor of this video, OneFootball. Got a busy day ahead of you and don't have time to be sat in front of the TV enjoying your team play? Download OneFootball and follow the action. Live scores, team updates, lineups. It's got all you need. Need to catch up on the latest news coming out of your team's camp? Download OneFootball and check out what news story is breaking out around the French national team. Need to double check the scoring charts to see who's in pole position for that prestigious golden boot? You don't need to look. It's Erling Haaland. But you get the idea, I'm pretty sure. With sections dedicated to your favorite teams, players, and much more, OneFootball is your go-to news app for all things football related. If all that sounds good to you, why not click the link in the description to download OneFootball for free today. Thanks so much to OneFootball for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to it. Anyway, through going from strength to strength, it was only a matter of time before everybody began to take notice. We'll get into the specifics of his skill set in a bit, but let's first take a look at what's led him to the current day. He made his debut for PSV's first team in early 2018, but it was only later in the 1920 season where he truly broke through. 7 goals and 7 assists in 25 matches for the then 20-year-old in the Eredivisie. This form continued over to the next season where he put up even more numbers and then made his debut for the Dutch national team in in the Euros of all places. His 21-22 season of the Eredivisie was spectacular. PSV came astonishingly close to upsetting Ajax and reclaiming the domestic title. Only 2 points separated the two when all was said and done. And Gakpo was one of the main contributors to that. Dutch Player of the Year for a reason, you know? 12 goals and 13 assists in 27 games, and the scorer of the winning goal in the 2022 KNVB Cup final. That was pretty much all the biggest clubs around the world needed to see. They were ready to make him an offer, and apparently Manchester United came the closest, but it just was not meant to be. I was close to leaving in the summer. I spoke to Erik ten Hag a few times at Manchester United. In the end, the deal didn't go through, which was a shame. For me and my development, because Manchester United is one of the biggest clubs in the world, but also for PSV, because to transfer a player to Manchester United is a good thing for the club. And I guess another way of translating that last bit is, quote, "When I leave, I'd like to secure a ginormous bag for my hometown team." And he most certainly will. It's only a matter of time before his name is mentioned amongst the elite. Actually, never mind. It isn't a matter of time, it's right now. The World Cup never fails to elevate the profiles of a select group of players that bring their very best to the table. The 2022 edition has proven to be no different, and it's also proven itself to be Gakpo's tournament. He absolutely hit the ground running with 3 goals in his first 3 matches, and while that is already extremely impressive, just to make it even more impressive, his 3 goals were all unique. A header after some clever movement to get in behind, a left-footed thunderbolt from outside the box with his weaker foot, apparently, and a right-footed strike into the bottom right corner after some lovely interplay. The man is dangerous, and I suspect he'll be dangerous in orange for many years to come. Cool, so all I've really done up to now is talk about what the man has done to get up to this point. But there's a reason you all clicked on this video, isn't there? You want to know how good Cody Gakpo really is. To which my answer is atrocious. He's terrible. No, he's actually very, very good. A right-footed player that finds joy in the wide areas of the pitch and has a knack for cutting in. Taller than your average winger, who often has a lower center of gravity that complements their dribbling. But that certainly doesn't contribute to his detriment. He's fast, direct, and more than tricky enough to not need to be as agile as smaller attackers. The comparison game when it comes to current players and former players is something that is frequently annoying and unnecessary, I feel. All the same, it's near impossible to avoid. Gakpo has been compared to very many players, but one that even the man himself has mentioned is Thierry Henry. Henry was more of a striker, but he was also tall and he liked to play off the side like me. So I watched clips of him and tried to learn something from him. The way he comes in from the left and shoots with his right. I don't know if it's working, but I tried to copy him a bit. Big man, from early signs, I think it's working. We've already touched on his goal-scoring abilities. That particular skill set of his is impressively varied, but apart from that, his creativity and all-round versatility is what sets him apart to me. He thrives in give-and-go, one-touch scenarios. He can go deep and progress the ball. He can bend his run and be a decoy. In the 2022 World Cup, for example, he's already played as a 10, as an inside forward, and as an out-and-out striker. It's quite something. Just to make how good he is more tangible, let's take a look at some of his key stats. Over the past 365 days, of course he has outperformed his XG of 0.5 expected goals per 90 with 0.67 expected goals per 90. Same thing goes for assists with 0.47 expected versus 0.62 actual. He produces 6.7 shot creating actions per 90 as well as at least 1 goal creating action per 90. Now that's just a snapshot, but of course his game is about so much more. If you ask me, all of this is great, and it's obvious to all that if he makes the right moves while keeping this up, there's no telling how good he can become. And the right move really is integral to this whole thing working out. We know Manchester United are in for him, which is all well and good, but United already have every right-footed, left-sided attacker in the Northern Hemisphere in their club. And if rumors are true, he's wanted as striking reinforcement, which again is all well and good. We know that he has the qualities to develop into a great striker, but he probably isn't there just yet. And Manchester United hasn't exactly been the greatest location to develop as a player in recent years, if we're all being honest. Even with Ruud van Nistelrooy as his current PSV coach, from the looks of things, perhaps this isn't the best move for him. I mean, no doubt it would be great for United if it were to happen though. We've heard Real Madrid being mentioned, which also might have its own obstacles. Same goes for most of the top teams, really. He's a top player, and along with his own growth, will likely make whichever team he goes to better. But the question of which team is the best place for his development, now, that's a tough ask. We'll just have to wait and find out, won't we? And there we have it. Let me know what you guys think about Gakpo. Feel free to follow the socials. That is all for me today. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you're having a great day. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.